Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. As you can see from the title, we'll be demonstrating, giving you a review and testing the new Samplebeauty The Equaliser palette. So if you want to see what my thoughts are on this palette, then please keep watching. So may I just say, like, this palette is bomb, like bomb. I say that in a lot of my videos, but I have never found a Samplebeauty palette that just hasn't worked for me. I just think Chloe is a mastermind. She's a genius. She just creates the best formulas, the best colours, the best colour payoff. I've never struggled, and I'm not saying this because I love the brand. I have never struggled with any of her shadows. I've never struggled to blend any of her shadows, whether it was the volume 1 paradigm shift palette or the volume 2 paradigm shift palette, even though they were the same colours but different type of formulas. Like one was more not so intense and the other palette was very out there in terms of colour payoff. But I've never ever struggled with any of them those shadows, and I was worried. I was thinking, oh, this is a new palette. I always worry, am I going to struggle? I did not, and I can tell you how I didn't struggle because I did use a black. Now the black blended absolutely brilliantly, but before we actually get into it, but if you're not following my Instagram, it's at hanstluce before we start, and I'd love if you could hit the follow button on there, follow my journey, follow all my eyeshadow looks that I do. I will be using this eyeshadow palette a lot more. But yeah, actually into the Samplebeauty palette, before I go actually into details, I do have an affiliate code with Samplebeauty. My affiliate code will be right down here, or it will be in the description, which will get you, I think, 10% off. I do earn commission on that. It is an affiliate code, may I just say. So yeah, if you want to get a little bit of money off of that, then please do. So we do have the little press sheet. I did get this gifted to me in PR, however this video is not sponsored. So this is the new Samplebeauty The Equaliser palette. Let me just show you the palette. Like, I'm talking so much but I'm not actually showing you the palette. So it comes sort of like a little book. It's like, it's quite big, but it's sort of like, it's not huge. It's a little bit smaller than the Paradigm Shift palette, but I don't know, maybe it's just because it's shaped differently in a sense. But yeah, this is the palette right here, and actually onto the palette, and again it has a mirror that I'm going to mention. It does have a mirror, but this right here is the color scheme. Now I saw this and I was like, okay, she's always got amazing color schemes, but this screams something different and I love it. I don't know what it is about the palette. It's just sometimes you wouldn't find these. I think it's this. I think it's how she's put the colors, if you get what I mean. Like, sometimes I just get really put off if I see like, let's say for example this color here and this color here, if they were next to each other, it would not confuse me, but it'd put me off and think, okay, which one do I use? But because they're on other sides and they're matching, meaning they go with each other, I'll go into a bit more of that in detail in a moment, it sort of makes me think, oh, okay, cool, I can use that with that. If they were next to each other, it sort of put me off, but because they're not, it sort of makes it works. Get what I mean? I love how she's put these colours. I just think it's well thought out. Well done, Chloe, you're absolutely amazing. I know I haven't got any makeup on right now. I've just done a skincare routine. I'm still ill, like still 4 or 5 YouTube videos in, I'm still ill. But anywho, actually onto the palette. You guys can obviously on the Instagram and whatnot, their names and things like that, but they are matching corresponding colours. So this palette is a palette with 50% mattes and 50% corresponding shimmer mattes with sparkly effects. It's as simple as that. So for example, like she said, to give a really easy version of what she means, she says pair gin with tonic. So right down here we have gin, and you pair that with tonic. We have vitamin with C, which creates vitamin C, so we have vitamin and C. We have grasshopper, bluebell, jibber jabber, hocus pocus, thunder lightning, tequila lime, and then on the edges we have rubber duck, vitamin C, queen of hearts, bubble gum, Adam Eve, gin and tonic. And down the middle, which I love, this little neutral section, which is just everything. We have cup of tea, touch base, cocoa bean. So everything just works. I love the names, Chloe, like I really do love the names. I just think out of all the palettes, I always say when the next Samplebeauty palette comes out, it's my favourite one, but again, this is my favourite one. I don't know why. I just think she always comes out with something new and something fresh and something that's just like not really seen before. Like, I know eyeshadows are one of the most popular things right now, like ABH putting out all in their mothers of eyeshadow palettes and Morphe and things like that, but with Samplebeauty you get something different. like you actually get, like, I'm not saying that no other brand put love into their products, but you just get a little bit of personalization in a sense, like a little bit more connective. Like, I don't know, maybe it's, I think you guys get what I mean. I just think it's like very well thought. Like, you can see a lot of thought went into this. Sometimes with a lot of palettes, I'm finding from a lot of brands, they just throw them together or put them in a certain scheme that will work and put the colours that match together, or they put the dark colours on one side and the brights on the other side. But no, not with this one. This one is a little bit more attractive, if you get what I mean. So I really enjoy that. I am going to show you a look I did create today. If you want a quick speedy version, you want the step-by-steps, please head over to my Instagram because that will be on there as well. But yeah, actually going into this palette retails for £30, which is so good. How many colours do you get? I'm actually not sure. So this palette comes with 30 shades for £30. Bang on. Like, I think for the formula that you're getting, a lot of people will be like, oh, it's a little bit expensive. I don't think it's expensive for that at all. Of course, you can use my affiliate code, which will get you 10% off, which will make it £27, I think. But yeah, I think especially, I was expecting this to be around, because of her payoff and because of Samplebeauty's payoff and their formula, I was expecting it to be about £43, but 30 quid. Like, it's absolutely brilliant. Okay, so grabbing the palette, we're going to go in the shade Grass and just going to start to pack that on in through the crease just to create that cut crease effect. Then we're going to go in with the shade Thunder, which is this gorgeous black, and this black blended so well. I'll talk about it in a minute. And then lastly, we went in with the shade Tequila on top. We just started to blend that in ever so softly on the top just to have that gradient from like black to green to lighter green. Then just cutting my crease using the P. Louise. We're going to go in with the shades Belle and Jabba as so here. I'm just packing these on. These are packed on so easily, and I packed Jabba on sort of like a mini liner just to add a little bit more definition. Then we go in with the shades Hocus and Gum. I went in with Hocus first and then blended that out with Gum. And then lastly, we went with the shade Tonic, and this is the final look. I have tried to use as many shades as possible in this palette. I did try to use Belle, Jabba, Grasshopper, Tequila, Thunder, Gum and Hocus. And you'll see, obviously I'll show you while I do the voiceover for you guys what shades I used. I had zero problems. I think you guys will be able to see in the tutorial. And I was a little bit worried at first because I went in with a deeper green. I went in with the shade Grass, which is right here. I went in with this shade Grass right here. And I thought, oh, I love the green, but I sort of wanted that cut crease. Like, you know when you get that little dark shade underneath just before you cut the crease and it adds that shadow? I wanted something, but obviously they didn't really have a dark enough green, which was absolutely okay. So I went in with Thunder and I was wondering, is this going to be a black where it's so intense that it doesn't blend? Let me explain how easy this black was to blend. Now, I have seen loads of my friends on YouTube, and so I've seen loads of my friends on Instagram that do creative looks and they use blacks, and they even say it's really struggle to blend eyeshadow. I'm not a professional, and even I find it really hard to blend black eyeshadow. Like, I don't know what it is about black. I'm not I've studied chemistry, but I don't actually understand the formulas and the powders and things because I've not done it. However, how did they do it? Like, how does Samplebeauty do it? For some strange reason, there's no like excessive fallout. There's no, which you would expect from colours, but the payoff is there. Like, it is there. You literally need the tiniest amount and it's there. Now, these corresponding shimmery mattes with sparkly effects are very interesting. Because you normally, like from Morphe or from Anastasia Beverly Hills, you get these very like metallic shimmers. I sometimes get a little bit put off with that because sometimes they can be a little bit too chunky. Sometimes they can just fall apart. Sometimes they're just too much like glitter. These have a different type of taste to them. And so like Belle, Jabba, Hocus, they all like, they're more in that shadowy, like, you know, like matte shadowy form. Like she said, the sparkly, like shimmery mattes. They're in that more of that creamy form where, like, I think you guys be able to see from when I show the voiceover, they just have this different payoff that I've not really seen before, especially the shade Gum. Gum right here has these sort of like glittery effects. You won't be able to see that well, but it had these sort of little like flecks of shimmer or like sparkly effects, and it just works. Like, I used it under my lower lash line and it just works. I thought it was going to be too much. Sometimes with those, they can go really dry and really like just not greatly formulated, but again, they formulated well. I've actually had no problems with this palette. Obviously I'm going to use it more. I can't really say more to it because it's just such a great palette. I would definitely recommend, if you're a beginner, because it works. It's not something that you're going to struggle blending with. It's not too overpowering, especially even if you're an experienced eyeshadow person or experienced makeup artist. This would be a great addition to the kit. I just think if you was to look at your kit and go, oh yeah, I'd pick this, or oh yeah, I'd pick this. This is a palette I'd probably take with me if I was doing shoots or if I was doing just general makeup or anything like that, because you've got the neutral section down here, which looks gorgeous, which I can't wait to play with. And then you've got the little pops of colour that just work. It just, I don't know what it is about the palette, but it just works. Like, I've not seen this scheme like this ever, in my personal opinion. So yeah, let me know if you are going to be getting this palette. I really hope you enjoyed my personal opinion on the palette. I would definitely recommend. Of course, you can still use my discount code. I do earn a certain commission off of it, but of course I'm guessing Samplebeauty have sales on quite regularly anyway, where they do like you buy one palette and get the other one at a certain price or whatnot. So you can wait, but of course you can get it for £30, which is a great price anyway. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a massive thumbs up. It'd mean the most to me. Let me know if there are any particular looks you'd like to see me do with this palette in the comment section. I will be doing that on my Instagram. I will be doing a cut crease video. I have been getting this request so many times in my DMs. Hannah, how do you do cut creases, things like that. I will be doing a YouTube video. I've just been so busy right now. I'm under current new management, so everything's just a bit wild. Life is just getting a lot. So yeah, I will get around to doing it, I promise you. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, please give it a massive thumbs up. Also, if you're new here, I'd love if you could subscribe and click the notification bell, and of course follow my Instagram. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. I love you loads, and I shall see you in my next video. Bye.